I'll just kind of tell you what is the agenda, how is the mood going to be set for the evening. So this is our fourth event that we have been doing. We started off, the first event was fairly small, low-key kind of thing where we had a few students come and then we got other students to come and meet them. But for the last couple of times, the last couple of years, we've been using it, it's an annual event, and we have got a lot of our speakers today who are going to come and share their journey, right? So one thing that I've said is, if someone comes from CrackVerbal, it is very easy for us to come here and tell you, do this, do this, do this, right? But today's speakers, they are not going to tell you what needs to be done. Instead, they are going to tell what worked for them, right? So this is their journey, this is what they did, and it worked for them. Would it work for you? Partly. Some parts may work, some parts may not work, right? But the whole idea is, when you hear and when you kind of make these notes, there is one thing that you need to know. What is that one thing? I mean, all things being equal, there is one thing that is very, very fundamental. By the time you are done today, by the time you leave 7:30 out of that door, there is one thing that you should have. What do you think that is? Sorry? Plan into getting into a B school, or more importantly, you need to have a goal. See, the biggest thing, if you were to ask me every year, is that when people get into this, see this whole GMAT and this whole application business, right? It's something that takes time, something that takes effort, right? And the last thing that you want to do is you want to do this just because your friend is doing it. How many of you over here are doing it because your friend is doing it? Like right now, you will not raise your hands, but in your mind, you are saying, why is he pointing towards me? Okay? But really, a lot of times, the reason why we do it is because our friend is doing it, correct? And many a times, we don't have the reason, we don't have the clarity. So if there is one thing that I want you to have at the end of this session, it is a clarity of purpose. What is it that I'm doing? Why is it that I'm doing whatever I'm doing? Right? So I'll give you an anecdote over here. So there was a guy who went to a rock quarry. Okay? You know what's a rock quarry? People are breaking rocks. So he goes to the first guy and he says, what are you doing? He's very despondent, he's very dejected. He's just kind of with a sad face. So he says, what are you doing? He says, can't you see I'm breaking rocks? Right? What can be more dreary than breaking rocks? He says, yeah, makes sense, you're breaking rocks. Obviously you're not very happy. Then he goes to the second guy, and the second guy does not have an expression on his face. Okay? He's just like, just breaking rocks. So he goes and says, what are you doing? He says, I'm feeding my family. Right? It's not that I love breaking rocks, but I'm doing this because I have to feed my family. He says, yeah, makes sense, right? You're doing it because you have to do it. And then he goes to the third guy, and the third guy is enthusiastic, right? He's just looking at something and he's kind of going away at the rocks. He asks him, what is it that you are doing? And he says, I'm here building a cathedral that will last 1,000 years, and people will look at it and say, who was the person who built it? And I'll be proud to say that I had a hand in building that cathedral. So tell me, among these three, who would be happiest doing what he's doing? Who do you think will do a good job of whatever he's doing? The third one again. Do you think there is a correlation between having an intent or a purpose to begin with and the quality of what you do? Do you think there's a correlation? Yes or no? It is. So what happens a lot of times when we start with this dream of doing an MBA, see, at the end of the day, let me be very clear, all of us are breaking rocks, right? Even the CEO of a company is breaking a rock, right? Everyone, I'm sorry to use this, but even a software engineer is breaking rocks, right? At the end of the day, it's all about breaking rocks. But once you know what is your intent, what is your purpose, you will get clarity into what you need to do in order to achieve that. And the last thing you need to do an MBA for is because how many of you, and let's be honest, how many of you want to do an MBA because you want to earn more? How many of you are here because your current job sucks so much? More confidently you're raising your hands. The problem without having an intent or a goal is this, right? See, I think doing an MBA is like committing suicide. I'll tell you why. When do people think of committing suicide? When they are depressed, they are dejected, they have nothing else to look forward to in their current life. When do you think people want to do an MBA? Dejected, nothing left in the current life. What do you think they will get? What do you think they hope they will get after they commit suicide? Maybe a better world. What do you think in a rebirth, right? Next janam, life will be easier. What do you think people feel after they do an MBA? What will happen? Again, I'll get a job. That will be a rebirth for me. But have you heard of this Bhataktivi Atma? Lot of MBAs, if they don't know what they are wanting, they end up becoming this Bhataktivi Atma. If you have a life that is messed up, you will have a life that will be messed up and a 70 lakh. Right? So it's very important that you have the clarity. See, it may very well happen that at the end of this session, you tell me, Arun, thank you for this session. I have decided I don't want to do an MBA. Congratulations, excellent. Because the intention is not to push you down this place. The intention is for you to understand why you want to do it. Don't look at the guy sitting next to you. At the end of it, you have to answer to yourself. In fact, this is something that I tell. Even before the MBA interviews, even before the MBA applications, you need to convince one person why you want to do an MBA. And if you're able to convince that person, you can convince anyone in the world. Who's that person? You yourself. So when you're sitting here, ask yourself, what is it that I am getting out of this that will hopefully help me make a decision, help me get the clarity. Alright? So with that, we're going to start the session. The agenda is the first part before we have a break. We are going to have a series of speakers. Okay? So we're going to start off with Rakshit. So Rakshit is going to talk about his journey. Just to give you a background of Rakshit. So Rakshit did his MBA from Columbia. He actually is from Bombay. He did his chartered accountancy. Then he went on to do his MBA from Columbia. You know where it is? US, yes.
New York.
It's in New York. And what else is there in New York? A lot of things, specifically alluding to the Wall Street. So he actually worked in the Wall Street and he quit all of it and he came back to India to pursue his passion for startups, and that's what he's been doing. He had a tech startup called SmartOn, and then he was involved in another startup that manufactures cold coffee. You have probably heard of Clock Cafe. So he was one of the founders of Clock Cafe, and he's also an application mentor at CrackVerbal. So we have shared a lot of thoughts about why people want to do an MBA and about this whole journey. So I will let Rakshit kind of take over, talk about his journey, and post that we will have a Q&A. So any questions that you have, you can probably take that.